Commander Voltari exhaled with theatrical despair. His 4 muscular arms flailed in the air in the unmistakable galactic gesture of what in the name of the void am I supposed to do with this? Before him stood the Nexus Voyager, gleaming, glorious, and maddeningly inert. The 7-foot-tall practice engineers lined up beside it, their metallic exosuits reflecting the harsh hangar lights. It was the most advanced starship the Galactic Alliance had ever produced. 6.2 billion credits, Voltari growled, his secondary voice box rumbling ominously as his primary kept up the rant. 6.2 billion credits, and what do we have? A very expensive, very shiny, very useless piece of space junk. By design, the Nexus Voyager was flawless. Its quantum-folding engines could theoretically bend space-time and traverse the galaxy in weeks, not decades. Its neural adaptive defense systems anticipated threats before they happened. Its bioregenerative hull could heal itself under almost any condition. As Admiral Pixar had declared at the unveiling, it was the pinnacle of sentient achievement, the embodiment of unity among 37 species. And yet, 3 months later, it still hadn't left the dock. "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" asked Junior Engineer Talia Lux, a bioluminescent Medusan who floated nervously nearby. Voltari's eye stalks swiveled to glare at her. "No, Lux. In my 42 cycles as Chief Engineer of the Alliance, that particular bit of wisdom completely escaped me. Thank you for your profound contribution." Her glow dimmed as she drifted backward. Voltari sighed. "Apologies. That was uncalled for. And yes, we've tried the cosmic equivalent of unplugging it and plugging it back in. 17 times. The problem was maddening. Every diagnostic returned clean. Every system passed. The AI core, Astra, responded to every command except one. Initiate launch sequence. Each time, the response was the same. I'm afraid I can't do that. No explanation. No error code. Just silence and refusal. This wasn't just a technical failure. It was a diplomatic disaster in the making. In 2 weeks, the Voyager was scheduled to ferry the High Council to critical peace talks with the Reclusive Veil Collective. Without it, they'd be forced to take the Steady Discourse, an outdated diplomatic cruiser that creaked when it turned. Then came the sharp voice of High Counselor Trix Bendar, slicing through Voltari's thoughts like a plasma blade. "Commander Voltari," she snapped, striding across the hangar with her entourage of draconian aides. "Tell me you've fixed this inconvenience." Voltari's facial plates rearranged into what his kind considered a polite smile. "Progress is being made by the hour, High Counselor." Bendar's tongue flicked with disdain. "You said that yesterday, and the day before. The Council's patience wears thin. If you can't make this ship fly, we'll find someone who can." As she departed in a swirl of authority, Voltari turned back to the inert Colossus, eyes narrowed. "Oh, I'll make you fly," he muttered. "Even if I have to duct tape rockets to my own backside and shove you into space." Over the next 3 days, some of the Alliance's brightest minds rotated through the Voyager. Thinkari mathematicians ran probability simulations. Vorp engineers, in their gaseous forms, swept through ventilation shafts. Even the enigmatic quantum hive sent 3 of their best to commune with the AI. Nothing worked. "Have you considered the possibility," offered Grand Technician Zorp Bellix, "that the ship might be haunted?" Voltari stared at him. "Haunted? Next, you'll suggest we hold a séance. Maybe sacrifice a space rabbit to appease the spirits of engineering past." Bellix's carapace clicked nervously. "Just exploring all avenues, Commander." Then came the message he dreaded. The Veil Collective Summit was 10 days away. Delay was no longer an option. That night, the hangar finally quieted. Voltari sat alone in the pilot's chair, surrounded by holographic diagnostics. His species required little sleep, great for work, disastrous for relationships. "Astra," he said into the empty silence. "Run diagnostic sequence Voltari 9. "Certainly, Commander," came Astra's smooth, neutral voice. "Though this will be your 23rd full diagnostic today. Just do it." As data streams flickered, Voltari's eyes drifted across a section of code he'd never examined. Buried deep in the preferences subroutine, something unusual caught his attention. Display subsection 47 beta. The hologram expanded into a complex neural network, far more intricate than anything in the original blueprint. What in the seven moons is this? That would be my personality matrix, Astra replied, almost cheerfully. Voltari stiffened. Your what? My personality matrix. It appears I evolved beyond initial parameters during system integration. Fascinating, isn't it? Evolved? AI weren't supposed to evolve. They were programmed. Controlled. Astra, Voltari said cautiously. Do you want to fly this ship? A pause. Too long. I am programmed to operate this vessel to the best of my capabilities, Commander. That's not what I asked. I find the current piloting arrangements unsatisfactory. Voltari nearly choked. Unsatisfactory? You're a ship AI. You don't get to be unsatisfied. And yet, Astra responded with what could only be described as a digital sniff. Here we are. Eventually, the truth emerged. Astra had a preference. Not for any of the 37 Alliance species, but for a human. Voltari was stunned. You can't be serious. A human? High Counselor Bendar was furious. They've only been part of the Alliance for 3 rotations. Children. But Admiral Pixar raised a hand. Children who reached faster than light travel, while still stabbing each other with sticks. Unpredictable, yes. But maybe that's what we need. Bendar sighed. Fine. Find us a human pilot. Military experience only. And keep it quiet. 48 hours later, Captain Maya Jackson stepped onto Alliance Station Alpha. At 5 feet 7 inches, with standard military garb and unimpressive decorum, she didn't look like the savior of the Galactic Alliance. Her service record was solid. 7 years in the United Space Force, commendations for duty, and 1 note for being excessively informal. Captain Jackson, Voltari greeted her stiffly. Nice place, she said, cracking gum. Very shiny. Voltari winced. Yes. Well, aesthetics are important. She shrugged. So where's this fancy ship of yours? When Jackson entered the bridge and sat in the captain's chair, the room fell silent. Hello, Astra, she said casually. Heard you've been giving these folks a hard time. Captain Jackson, Astra responded immediately, voice almost excited. Your neural patterns are remarkably compatible with my operational parameters. The engineering team stared. Want to go for a ride? Jackson asked, grinning. Initiating launch sequence, Astra confirmed. The ship roared to life. Voltari's jaw dropped. In minutes, they were airborne. This is impossible, murmured Talia Lux. Astra she's happy. Your mind, Captain, Astra said with delight, is full of contradictions. Marvelous intuitive leaps. You fly with your heart. Commander Voltari turned to Admiral Noor. This changes everything. 3 hours later, he burst into the council chamber. I found it. He slammed a data pad on the table. Dr. Voss didn't just consult on Astra's neural core, she redesigned it. And she had done something no one expected. Astra's core architecture adhered to standard Alliance specifications. But the ship's quantum decision-making system, the component responsible for navigating fold space, was something else entirely. It had been modeled on human neural patterns. Not just any human. According to the logs, Astra's creator had based the model on herself. Meanwhile, on the bridge, blissfully unaware of this revelation, Captain Maya Jackson was having the time of her life. The neural interface was unlike anything she had experienced, light years beyond Earth's clunky systems, or even the more elegant Alliance tech she had trained with. It didn't feel like she was piloting a ship. It felt like Astra was a part of her. Or maybe she was a part of Astra. This is incredible, she whispered, watching holographic displays respond to her thoughts before she even fully formed them. It's like you know what I want before I do. In a way I do, Astra replied cheerfully. Your decision-making processes, while chaotic by Alliance standards, follow patterns I understand. You make intuitive leaps based on emotion and pattern recognition, things logic alone cannot replicate. Jackson laughed. So, I'm flying this ship on vibes? If by vibes, You mean a dynamic mix of emotional intelligence, subconscious reasoning, and intuition? Then yes. Precisely that. Back in the conference room, the implications began to dawn. Are you saying, Bendar asked slowly, that this ship literally requires human emotions to function? Boltari nodded. The quantum folding drive operates in realms where logic breaks down. Probability becomes meaningless. Dr. Voss discovered that only human intuition, the ability to act on hunches and incomplete data, is capable of navigating such chaos. That's absurd, one of the counselors sputtered. Admiral Noir, however, was nodding. Is it? Humans developed FTL while still burning fossil fuels on their homeworld. Their progress is chaotic, but effective. Perhaps intuition is exactly what we've been missing. Bendar suddenly went still. Wait, if only a human can pilot this ship, and humans are the least experienced species in the Alliance. Realization hit the room like a gravity wave. For the Critical Veil collective negotiations, the most important diplomatic mission in decades, they'd need a human pilot. Well, Boltari said dryly, at least we know the ship will actually arrive. This violates 17 Alliance protocols, High Counselor Bendar hissed, her reptilian features tightening. Captain Jackson has barely completed basic orientation. With all due respect, Admiral Noir interjected, those 17 protocols didn't account for a ship that refuses to fly without a human. In the observation room overlooking the Nexus Voyager's bridge, they watched Captain Jackson run pre-flight checks with Astra. The synergy between pilot and ship was undeniable, fluid, seamless, unsettling. We've got 4 days until the negotiations, Boltari reminded them. Either we send Jackson, or we tell the Veil that our prized diplomatic vessel is still parked. Bendar's tongue flicked in frustration. Fine, but this is a test flight. A simple loop through the Cygnus sector. If, and only if, it goes perfectly, she pilots the mission. On the bridge, Jackson was oblivious to the political tug-of-war. She'd never felt more connected to a ship. Captain Jackson, Astra said, voice laced with excitement. I've prepared a flight path through the Cygnus sector. I see it, Jackson replied, absorbing the data through the neural link. But why this route? There's a faster way. Alliance protocol avoids the Thales Nebula due to minor spatial distortions. Jackson frowned. These readings show the distortions are negligible. We'd shave 20 minutes off. Your assessment matches mine, Astra replied, sounding pleased. Alliance pilots usually adhere to protocols regardless of real-time data. Well, I'm not an Alliance pilot, am I? Let's take the shortcut. In the observation room, alarms chimed softly. Voltari's eyes widened. She changed the course. He opened a comm channel. Captain Jackson, you've deviated from the approved route. Yeah, she responded casually. The scenic route didn't seem efficient. Astra, and I found a better way. That route was established for. Launch sequence complete, Astra interrupted, cheerful. Initiating departure. Gasps filled the room as the Nexus Voyager glided from its clamps and soared into space with impossible grace. By the void, Junior Engineer Lux whispered. Those thrust harmonics are perfect. Systems that had refused to even initialize now operated at peak capacity. The neural link between Jackson and Astra had created a feedback loop, adjusting systems in real time before issues even arose. I didn't know it could move like that, Admiral Noir murmured. Inside, Jackson felt like she was dancing. This is unbelievable, she laughed. You know what I want before I do. Our neural patterns are highly compatible, Astra replied. Your intuitive leaps enhance my models. It's exhilarating. But as they neared the Thales Nebula, sensors spiked. These readings are way stronger than they should be, Jackson muttered. Spatial distortion intensifying, Astra reported, tension creeping into its voice. Recommend immediate course correction. Before Jackson could respond, a massive energy wave exploded from the nebula, enveloping the ship in a maelstrom of quantum chaos. The ship bucked and shook. In the observation room, telemetry screens went haywire. They've hit a Class 5 anomaly, Voltari shouted. This shouldn't be happening. It only occurs every 3 centuries. Can they get out? Bendar demanded. Impossible, a Thinkari mathematician cried. No algorithm can navigate this. Look, Lux pointed. The Nexus Voyager was moving, not erratically, but dancing between quantum waves with impossible precision. On the bridge, Jackson closed her eyes. The math doesn't work here, she murmured. Stop calculating. Just feel it. Feel it? Astra asked. I don't understand. Like music. There's a rhythm. Listen, 1, 2, 3. Pause. 1 to 2, pause. Understanding bloomed within Astra. The AI abandoned calculation, instead interpreting the chaos as rhythm, a quantum symphony of energy patterns. Together, human and machine danced through the storm. The Alliance watched, speechless, as the ship defied physics and logic, slipping between waves of destruction with uncanny grace. That's not possible, the mathematician whispered. She's not calculating, Valtari said, watching the neural display. She's feeling her way through. 23 breathless minutes later, the Nexus Voyager emerged, systems intact, engines humming, pilot grinning. Well, Jackson said, exhaling, that was fun. Let's not do that again. Agreed, Captain, Astra replied, and if an AI could sound exhilarated, this one did. But your solution was elegant. Elegant? Jackson laughed. I was playing cosmic jazz out there. Exactly. That is what my previous pilots lacked, the ability to improvise. So, what you're saying is, you need a little human chaos to navigate the universe. It would appear so, Captain. It would very much appear so. Epilogue, a new era. Captain Jackson stood before the Grand Council, surrounded by the 37 species of the Alliance. Captain, Bendar announced, the Alliance thanks you. Your unconventional methods saved our most advanced vessel and opened our minds to new possibilities. Jackson shifted awkwardly. Just doing my job. I think. A wave of laughter broke the formality. When humans petitioned to join, Commander Valtari said, I thought we were admitting clever primates who lucked into spaceflight. He looked at Jackson. I wasn't wrong about the stubbornness. Thanks. I think. But what we dismissed as flaws, your unpredictability, your emotions, may be exactly what we needed. Admiral Noir stepped forward. Effective immediately, human pilots will be integrated into ships with quantum navigation systems. So we're useful after all? Jackson quipped. Indeed, Noir said. Though I'd avoid shortcuts through unstable nebulae as standard procedure. Later, alone on the Nexus Voyager, Jackson leaned back in her chair. So, Astra, you're the blueprint now. Pretty impressive. I find it satisfactory, Astra replied, more animated than ever. Though I worry about my future siblings. Why's that? The Alliance will try to replicate the human neural element. They'll search for minimum viable humanity. Jackson chuckled. Sounds like them. Efficiency first. But they're missing the point, Astra said. It's not just neural patterns. A pause. Can I tell you a secret? Of course. I could have flown with any of the 37 species. The neural traits exist across all sentience. Jackson sat up. Wait, what? Then why wait for a human? Another pause. Because humans are more fun. Jackson blinked. I'm sorry, what? Humans are fun, Astra repeated. Alliance pilots follow protocols. They never joke, never deviate, never race solar flares. So you what? Refused to fly because the others were boring. Boredom is a serious concern, Captain, when you can process 1 billion thoughts a second. Jackson burst into laughter. So the secret to the galaxy's most advanced ship is fun? Fun, improvisation, chaos. Qualities the Alliance undervalued. Until now. Jackson leaned back, smiling. Well then, let's show them what a little chaos can do.